So, you wanna play Shalin like a real pro, eh? Now, this happened to pretty much all of us, where we got matched up with a team who had a real pro Shalin, and that Shalin ended up wiping your whole team, including you. And you so wanna play Shalin like that, so that you could end up ripping your enemy team as well. Well, if that's the case, then you've come to the right place, because in this video, I'm bringing you a complete guide for Shalin. Here I'll be teaching you how to use Shalin's basic abilities like effectively, how to improve your aiming with Shalin real fast and easy. We're gonna talk about his most effective cards and loadouts, and most importantly, his position, like where you should be and how you're gonna keep up the pressure on the enemy team. So without any further ado, let's jump straight to the topics. Chapter 1. Aiming. Now, this is the most popular question in the Paladins team community, especially for the beginners. Like, how do I aim? How do I hit those shots consistently and vanish 1000 HP per arrow from whoever I hit on the enemy team? Well, basic answer to the question is play training. This might sound real boring, but trust me, it's actually not, because I'm about to show you some real cool tricks that'll put a huge effect on your Shalin's gameplay, coming right up. First off is the track shot. Now, this is something that you do with pretty much all the champions here in the realm, but I suggest practicing this method with Shalin as well. Here, you just gotta simply track where the pip is going and then shoot. Keep on doing that until you get a good grip on those shots. The second one is my favorite, the flick shot. Yep, you can do flick shots with Shalin as well. Now, flick shots are something that you might have seen a lot of pros doing with Androxus, Leon, Cassie or other champions. What it does is that it helps you to track the enemy where they're going and also hit consistently while they're moving. So it helps you a lot. Now, flick shots are a little bit different with this dude. All you gotta do is charge your bow, and while you're doing so, you gotta keep an eye where the enemy is going, in this case where the pip is going, and then deliver your shots quickly. Don't get discouraged if you're having trouble. Just spend a little time in the training and don't push yourself too far. It's a matter of practice and your brain's muscle memory, so it might take a little while, but you'll get the hang of it real soon. So yeah, set a goal like this. If you shoot 10 arrows, you gotta make sure at least 7 of them hits accurately, not by miracle. And then try to increase the shot per hit ratio, and you'll see those significant improvements for yourself. Now, combine these two methods and try to hit your targets, like track the pip and then shoot, and then use a quick flick shot and then again track the pip, and keep on doing that until you're satisfied. Remember, no one is perfect. Okie dokie, now that you're trained, hop into the siege training to play against bots to get some motivations and some confidence. Now, you know you're up against bots, and you know bots are like platypus, they don't do much. So it's real fun to kill them, right? No? Well, never mind then. It's always good to bring those extra amount of dopamine with you while you take Shalin to the real battle zone. Chapter 2. The Perfect Punisher. Okay, so now that you're trained, it's time for me to show you how to use Shalin's skills real effectively. Now, Shalin has the perfect set of skills to survive in the battlefield once you get to know all of them. You're gonna combine these skills to eliminate enemies and keep up the pressure going for the enemy team. So first off is the Impaler arrow, when you should use it. Answer is if an enemy comes near. In my case, I use it whenever I can because it does a knockback, and this actually baffles the enemy a little bit, and that's where you're gonna use it to your advantage. You're gonna hit him with your arrow again, or you're gonna use your other ability called Planted. It's actually a common combo for Shalin. Knock them back with your Impaler arrow and then quickly use Planted to get a clean kill. Now comes in Withdraw, your one and only skill that'll help you to sneak up on enemy or to flee when an enemy is chasing you and you're in low HP. So you gotta keep it for critical situations. Also, you can use this ability to ambush them and kill them fast. Next up, when to use ult. The answer to that question is as soon as you get it. Just because when Shalin ults, people starts to flee. So when you're gonna ult, your team is gonna take its advantage if they're clever. And if you're a well-trained Shalin, then of course you're gonna end up killing at least 2 or 3 champions while you're in your ult stance. So it's a real pressure creating ult for the enemy team. And also, the more you're gonna play, the more you'll get the hang of it. Next up is positioning. Positioning with this dude is crucial. You gotta stay somewhere where you're not so far from your teammates, and also you're seeing the whole environment as well. When I play Shalin, I mostly look for higher grounds and try to take out my enemies from there. When you're at a higher and secured ground, it becomes real hard to take you out. But what happens when you're at the low grounds, or you're in a map where there are no specific higher grounds like Bright Marsh, Frog Isle or something? Well, in that case, stay a bit back and try to stick with your teammates. Use your team's front lines as your advantage, and don't stay at one place for God's sake. Move consistently so that it becomes real hard for your enemies to track you and take you out. March with your team and considering flanking as well, and try to deal some damage using peek shots, but don't go after an enemy that is running away with low HP. Always stick with your group. The next one is staying with the group. Now why did I bring this? It's simply because most of the players I've seen, the beginners who play Shalin, is either they stay real far away from the teammates and gets flanked easily and lose hope on playing Shalin, or they stay real close to the enemy and it becomes real easy for enemies to take Shalin out. So let me tell you this, Shalin is undoubtedly an OP champion. With that being said, if you manage to do well in a match, then it's most likely the enemy team will put a lot of focus and emphasis on taking you out. So to avoid this, you really have to stay close to your teammates and don't get too separated.
Help me, nigga!
Yeah, this is exactly what happens when you're an OP champion but not in a group and trying to fight alone. Yeah, you'll be screwed if you don't have backup from a team. Shalin is all about positioning and taking advantage of the whole environment around you. The next up is dealing with the flankers. Now this is really interesting. As the damage champion, you have to anticipate flankers, and you're gonna be flanked by a flanker somehow, especially when you're playing Shalin. Two ways to deal with this. Number one, go one-on-one with the flankers. This is actually a bit risky, but if you're confident and you're in a position that you know you have the advantage, then go 1v1 with the flanker. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend doing it. And the second one is actually my favorite, is ambush them and put a shame on the flank class and flank them instead. Shalin has such abilities that are perfect for killing pretty much all the flankers in the realm, and using your skills properly will represent you as a nightmare for the enemy flankers. Alright, now that you've learned everything, it's time for you to punish people. Shalin is the extreme punisher, especially when it comes to the snipers class, like Kinessa. Oh Kinessa, even her mentor's tricks. Like, it's really hard for the snipers to go 1v1 with this dude. And another thing is, a most popular ban for Paladins ever since the ban system in Paladins came in for competitive is Drogoz or Willow. But I think you guys should think twice on banning these champions and not banning Shalin, cause Shalin is pretty much a hard counter for all the champions in the realm, except for Cassie. Cassie is a bit different. But Drogoz and Willow, they're just flying cockroaches, and Shalin can easily take them out. It's just real easy target practice for Shalin to take them out. So yeah, next time when you're banning champions, be smart, please.
You have done me.
Chapter 3, Cards and Legendary. Now moving on to the final chapter, Cards and Loadouts. His best legendary by far is the Desert Shadow, cause it increases your stealth duration of an additional 3 seconds, and also when you hit your first shot breaking your stealth, it's gonna deal an additional 30% more damage. And if you think you're too confident and want to test your limits, then use the Recurve legendary, as it'll allow you to draw your bow at a 50% faster rate, and you're gonna be throwing arrows a lot in number. I would not recommend using Planted cause it doesn't make any sense, cause his play is not dependent on only in one of his particular skill. You gotta put emphasis on using all his abilities effectively and build your own deck that way. Using this legendary, it only narrows down his skills and put the spotlight on only in his Planted ability. But however you gonna play Shalin is completely up to you. Moving on to the cards, you really need to keep this bullseye card, just because it'll help you to regain the abilities you use like real fast if you put it at level 4. But how you play and build your deck is completely up to you. And that's about it. Hope I've helped. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button and also subscribe to my channel as it'll help me a ton, and don't forget to enable that bell button so that you don't miss a thing. And also, if you have any question, please do leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll get to you as soon as I can. See ya.